You're beautiful. You're
You're
so pretty.
beautiful. You're beautiful.
I'm saying,
You're
don't get me started, dude.
beautiful. It's true.
I've been listening to 70s and 80s stuff, baby.
You've been a James Blunt guy?
Now I've been jumping back into Hall and Oates and Private Eyes watching you.
Oh yeah.
Private eyes.
Um,
I'm watching you. They see your every move.
strong start to the stream. Strong start to the stream.
That's right.
Y'all, it is Reading with Your Mouth, a Mouthbreathers live podcast and live stream. We're alive and live. Talking about
This is a strong start.
strong start. We always know how to do it. Brock is in the chat. Big cock Brock. Let's go.
Rock.
Luther Strode. We're going to be talking about the legend of Luther Strode. So the second volume of stories. But first, of course, you have to mouth breathe to be one of the mouth breathers, Brock. That is the law. Do some plugs. Time Police. I got a little teaser right here, but there's a whole book out right now. I'm excited to get my copy. Don't have it yet because Ben is fulfilling orders, but Ben Hill, James Solomon, buddy cop, time travel, space adventure, shit rocks. Ben, what do you have to say about Time Police?
It's awesome. It's a ton of fun. Honestly, so an update, because I neglected to actually get my email out to all of our backers, and I'm going to send that out tomorrow. It's my first one that isn't on a Wednesday. I tried to do the whole new comic book day, new post update, but I need to get that out. We are still waiting on Kickstarter to collect everything and send us the funds. They said 14 days, so Friday will be 14 days. So fingers crossed we see that nice little funding that we were able to accrue. So thank you to everybody who backed the book. Brock, huge supporter. Kev, appreciate all the support as well. Manny, of course, dude, gorgeous cover. But
Thanks, man.
my hope is we get that funding, the book's completely formatted. We've gone through multiple reviews, and so we are ready to kick that thing to the printer as soon as that stuff shows up in our funding. Trying to think of a fun way. Our Scrooge McDuck money bank, right?
Hell yeah.
We made our goal, so we're swimming in dough that will quickly deplete once we start paying everybody off. But it was successful. We'll have a funded book, so I can't wait. We will have that stuff with us when we go to our upcoming events. So if you're going to be at Heroes Con in June, definitely stop by. We'll have extra copies with us. We will be ordering extra of Manny and Siler's covers as well. So you can come up and pick up a variant cover as well as the main, the A cover, if you will. I think they're all A covers in my opinion because they all kick it. So, but yeah, dude, super excited. And then we've got this stuff that we've been working on together that I can't wait to see that.
Big announcements coming soon.
Yeah. Hint, hint. So we'll have more on that. But let's talk about Renowned, your guys' book. This thing kicks major ass.
Yeah, Renowned. It is a high fantasy sci-fi story. It takes place in the magical land of Phyrexia, where mutated primeval monsters have run wild, wreaked havoc on the masses. We've got 3 stories here. The Red Ranger, which is on Webtoons now. You can read the full story. So Mouthbreathers Guild on Webtoons. Come check us out. Second story will release on Webtoons soon. Mech Bros. This is buddy story, team up of a dwarf in a mech suit and a cybernetic assassin fighting a giant tentacle monster. Excited for you all to dig into that. And then of course we have the collection of all 3 stories plus the main one, which is about the king who spawned and sacrificed his wife to become the first primeval, unleashing a plague among the plains and the wildlands and the swamps and the forests and the mountains and the rivers, all of it.
Stuff.
This physical print copy still exists. You can find us at events like Heroes Con, where we will have oodles of copies of this book, but it will also be fully releasing on Webtoons for free should you want that. But support your local indie artists. We're around. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have a table at Heroes Con, Barack, and then of course gotta plug Manny's badass solo work, The Legend of Carl. I believe there are still copies of this book.
Oh yeah, there's plenty.
If not, you can get it. You can get it on Gumroad, just PDF, I believe. Manny's Gumroad. That'll be on his stream. His stream is above me in this little screen here, as you see him flipping through it. The Manny draws on Twitch. We try to keep things, consistent, fun, sharing everything. Yeah, if you're a Deep Rock Galactic fan, this is a sick, beautiful watercolored comic about Carl. For Carl. Yeah, this book rocks. Rock and Stone, my brothers. What a good game. Now getting into
one more thing.
Hold
on. Yeah, Kev, you and I talked about this, and Manny is holding out on everybody. So apparently Manny has done a Western at some point in his life, and there are copies sitting around somewhere. So Manny, I expect you to bring that with you to Charlotte, because I will be buying a copy. Like, you have to bring it. It has to be on the table.
Yeah, Manny, just see if you can pull it up. My copy is somewhere buried in my room, but I do have it. It's called 3 for 3. Manny's leveled up a lot. It's a first project, you know what I mean? I know he's got his feelings on this matter, I won't speak for him, but I will say that book is a lot of fun. I get it. Manny's leveled up a lot. Our comics just get better and better with each one we make, so I understand.
I'll speak for him. I want a copy. Give me
I want a copy.
Let me buy. I want to buy things.
This is
look at that.
One of the first dives. There's no real panels. It's all just chaotic. Very
love it.
Very weird.
It's all the live panels. You get like a lot of stuff that just natural borders. What did a horse just kill a dude? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you will be able to get this book at Heroes Con. It will be in limited quantities. You have to say the secret passphrase, which is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. If you say that, Manny will give you a copy of this book. But only if you say that. If you forget the secret password, we'll slap you in the mouth.
Pay up.
So remember, if you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know what I mean? Remember that, Brock, what's the passphrase? I want to see it in the chat so you know how to get this. I want to make sure you're retaining.
Yeah, it's a old book.
Deep Manny lore. Brock, if you forget it, I swear to God, I'm going to tug on that dick. All right. Luther Strode, guys. The Legend of Luther Strode, Volume 2. There you go, Brock. That's my guy. Hell yeah.
Why did you have to transition us to Luther Strode like that? Because honestly, I read this back in 2012, and I think that's what I did. I think I read this book, and then I went.
Then I bought a horse.
Took care of it. And I bought a horse. And I tugged on that horse.
Man, this book is so good. I know last time we talked about Luther Strode, we were just like gushing over how good the first volume was, but how we were even more excited because we were ready for the level up of Volume 2. And man, oh man, is there a leveling up. Trad just feels completely uninhibited. You know what I mean? Like he's just going to do whatever he wants on these pages.
Do Trad things.
Yeah, every character's just got crazy anatomy. He's squashing and stretching and rounding and squaring and just doing whatever he wants.
Dude, and within the first 2 pages, you get an exploding head.
Yeah.
So freaking cool.
An amazing first page turn. Yeah, for sure. He looks through the eye hole and then just the fist reveal. I audibly shrieked when I was reading it. I was like, yeah. Everything is just leveled up. There's more violence, more gore, crazier characters. Yeah, the action is just insanely good. Oh my god.
Yeah. you see him like doing that chaotic panel setup later on with like just taking out the gutters and just going crazy. So that's a whole lot of fun towards the end though. But
And like I really love in this like story we get like more of the weird murderer lore, but
yeah,
like it's
just a
less
little bit.
lore. It's just less lore altogether. You know, it's like the John Wick amount of lore where you're just like, wait, what's
Yeah.
going on? But it's just enough to
I
keep
don't
the
know.
story moving.
The chained ones, man.
The chained ones. Um,
Oh,
got some
finally
good butt.
getting the backstory of how that happened in this book and the lineage behind it. So freaking good. But I reading this book again just makes me realize how much I want Trad to direct a movie. Just can you imagine him doing storyboards? Holy crap.
Dude, he would.
Just the sheer transition in the first 4 pages where you've got, you know, these hoods that are talking about, you know, beating the ladies they got working out on the street and all this stuff. And, you know, they hear a knock at the door. They think it's one of their ladies they got working for them. And that's when the fist comes through the door. Head freaking explodes. Then not only does like the fist come through, but you see his partner react. And when it cuts back, like Luther has grabbed the dude's neck stump and like ripped it through the door. It's just insane the amount of detail leading all the way up to, you know, the standoff between the little mousy guy, and it cuts between from Luther in shadow standing over this guy to
Yeah.
a bloody super tight zoomed in shot of the dude's driver's license hanging up on a wall. And then it zooms out and you see Luther again in shadow with all these driver's license. Like essentially it's just his murder list of these horrible people that he is going out and essentially being the murder vigilante, taking
Right.
out just the denizens.
Murder
of,
Batman.
Yeah, murder
that's a
Batman,
trophy.
dude, it is freaking awesome. Oh,
Then he washes the blood off.
yeah, we
Yeah.
get to see a gratuitous butt shot of
Hell yeah.
Luther. You
That's
know,
a really good butt shot.
Very strong
and
butt.
then,
Very strong butt.
dude,
Yeah.
just the human form, like Luther, this hulking mass of muscle, sitting there in that cross-leg pose that we saw was kind of that beginning meditation for the what was it, the Atlas book in the beginning.
Yeah. The weightlifting or whatever, the Hercules method.
Hercules
Yeah.
method, yes.
I also love like that everybody else in this, except for like, you know, the murder guys, are like much more noodly and like skinny and like spindly. You know, they're
Yeah.
like it like really like exaggerates how bulky and massive like Luther is, like by contrast. I'm a big fan of that.
It does, but you think, and that's what I love with this setup too. All the people standing in his way, with the exception of the binder, they're all these really thin people that sets that juxtaposition, and you're like, there's no way they can stand up to him. And then we get the reveal later on of who like who the big bad is, and the big bad is like the skinniest waif like character in this entire series, and he's a freaking monster. I love him. I love who they do. I don't want to spoil it too soon because we will talk about Legacy. I love Legacy. That's the cap of the Luther Strode series, and I think there's some amazing characters in there, but this is my favorite villain and in the entire Luther Strode series. Absolutely love it.
Hell yeah. That's great.
Oh, I got the yawns tonight, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, join me, everybody. Take a drink. Luther Strode.
You got it.
I'm drinking probably the sleepiest beer I could be drinking.
You got a stout?
Guinness.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
Mm.
Way nice and heavy on the gut.
After
Give you
eating a
the-
bunch of tacos, I'm just like, oh.
Oh yeah.
Tacos and
all
Guinness?
granddad.
How does that go together? I would
Tacos,
think
tacos before Guinness. I was drinking Modelo Negro with the tacos, so it works.
this is your dessert.
Yeah.
This
This
is your
is this is an aperitif.
Dessert beer.
dessert.
This is a digestif. You know what I mean? This is just something light and nice. Yeah. I also like. I can't tell if I love it or if I'm kind of like meh on it, but there's a lot more cursing in this like saga.
I love it.
It's just like goofy, but it's also like some of it is very like, I don't know. It's that like Garth Ennis and like Mark Millar thing where it's just like fucking shit and fucking shit fuck, you know? It's like
But who's it come from? Who does it come from?
everybody. Well, Petra and
Again, I'm telling you right now, I love Petra in the first book. She is the like badass Mary Jane Watson. Like kick Mary Jane Watson's ass from here to, you know, the MCU. But gosh, like her in this book, okay, so here it is. Put yourself in these shoes, right? There's no superheroes that you've ever been involved with, and you just saw this person that you fell in love with like murder a bunch of people in front of you, which they cover in like a very brief flashback here. And then you watch him gunned down, you go to the morgue and he's gone, and you spend your love interest is gone. And you spend all 5 years, right? It's a 5-year jump.
yeah.
You spend 5 years trying to track this person down. And then when you start to see everything they're capable of, which is, I don't know, like moving your hand like this across a person's neck and their head pops off, I don't think I would be very articulate at that moment. So there's a lot of stuff in this book that I relate to Petra in, not only because I think she's gorgeous, but also because like, yeah, I can relate. There's somebody murdering massive amounts of people around me. I don't think I'm going to be like, well, that's interesting. So why would you decide to decapitate them by using that person's leg?
No, she's kind of turned on by it. You know what I mean? She vomits, but she's like also, it's like a hot vomit. You know what I mean?
How dare you? Oh,
Like the kind people pay money to watch. Not me though.
Sorry, I was looking to see where you're at, Kev, on yours.
Yeah, me and Manny are on the same page.
You're all the way up at the where we've got Mickey and Mr. Duval, and Mickey's gonna take care of these guys that are murdering his. So Mickey's like the crime boss, not a very good one, but like taking over for his dad, young and inexperienced and dumb, and he's got his buddy that's like watched over him his entire life.
His Alfred.
And his Alfred, right? His crime Alfred. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they hired this group of thugs to track down, to kind of bait Luther Strode, right? They bring in all these ladies off the street to try to get Luther to come in and stop whatever's going on as a setup. But dude, oh my gosh, like Kev, the page that you're on, or that you were on, where I don't know, I'm rushing things now. I was so set up on just the way he's telling the first 4 pages, and now I jumped to where throwing the manhole cover through the dude's mouth.
Yeah, that got me.
Yeah,
I was just like, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I love the whole sequence of like hey man, you gotta drive on out of here, bud, and then like the arm is in shadow, and then when the arm comes into the light, it's like covered in the blood, and then he's just like, oh shit, and he's like, he's here, just gets decapitated by a manhole.
A manhole cover.
And then the reaction with his buddy, let me in, he's fucking real. Like...
See, but that's the thing, like the bad guys, there's not a lot of like just repetitive swearing. You can imagine, you know, some thugs out there just like going apeshit and be like just dropping the F-bomb. Like, I don't want to die. Let me fucking get in there. But oh my gosh, that sequence, and I love it. It's all trad, right? You've got the guy screaming. he's here, call the, and his mouth is wide open, which is a perfect delivery device for this metal pizza disc that just cuts him right underneath his upper jaw. And not only is that not enough for Trad, where he's like, that's pretty cool, right? Like some guy just getting, the top half of his head cut off. We're gonna show
We're gonna show his body falling below it.
Well, I love the shadow too. Like he's like left his shadow. Like,
oh,
that's how
yes.
hard he's been hit.
So
Yeah, way more generous with the speed lines and the onomatopoeias in this volume.
Yeah, there's a whole lot more onomatopoeias going on.
That may be why I like it so much.
Maybe.
Now pay attention to this as we go through. So issue 1, issue 2, I noticed there's a lot of work that's being done by, was it
Felipe
Phonographics? Phonographics, that's the letterer. And we did, I think that's something we commented on in the first arc. The onomatopoeia, all the sound effects, there wasn't a lot to, look at from a lettering perspective. I think there's a little bit more, but past the first and second issue, that issue 6, there is so little like onomatopoeia, but where it is, it's super effective. And so I don't want to sit here and like bag on the letterer. I just think it shows that, let TRADD do what TRADD does, and then just add to it. Like, you don't have to take away from it by doing too much. Just let his art breathe, and just pick your moments, right?
I wonder if they were like getting notes from TRADD or somebody, just like, all right, we want you to letter this, like these specific moments.
Right.
Because I know, like, when they're fighting the big bad baddie, that's kind of those impacts, then you kind of get those sound effects, just like in the first volume, where it's just like the big bad baddie fight, big boss fight, then you get the onomatopoeias. It's like throughout this one, we're fighting these like little targets, basically, these warm-up bosses, and we're getting all these sound effects, but then once it gets to more heavier stuff, and it kind of calms down and you feel that impact more. Maybe I don't know, just throwing ideas out there. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe. You never know, dude. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
The action, the strange, or not the strange talent, but the Legend of Luther Strode is just all action. Like, it is really just like told through the visuals, and the plot is like skeletal in like the best way.
I love this scene right here when the dude's head is just flying, and he's like, it happened as he was speaking.
But I think it's just it's a 9-block page, right?
Yeah.
There's 9 panels. The hand grab around the ankles, the reaction to being drug under the van that they shot up, and then it's that like single shot to where the head of the guy's head flying. Oh, man. And then the reaction.
Yeah, just people running away. Fuck no.
Fuck no.
I love the one guy that gets away. He, of course, slams the door, and you just see the word bubbles from outside of the door.
Yeah.
Just yelling at him. Oh, my gosh. And kicking the door open and just smashing the dude that like closed the door.
And I love like the Batman thing they have going on, where he's like killing people from the shadows and like only showing up in silhouette and stuff like that. Like, very obvious. So
It's great.
Yeah, I love the kind of use of bullet time, like where there's the bullets freezing in the air as he's like shadow speed lining through shit. It's just like a really great way to represent that difference in speed.
And I have to say, there's one complaint I have about this book. I felt like in the first one, we got a little bit of, his vigilante suit, his Batman suit. This is very like anti-gearing up. Like, there's not so much a gearing up as it is like a really dressing things down, keeping things simple. So I wonder again, trying to go back to trad, like what's easier, drawing muscles, drawing the human body and figures that you can reference, or trying to do it wrapped in clothes? And so I don't know if that's the reason for it, but this is the only issue that you get him in that vigilante outfit that he had in Strange Tales.
Yeah, I mean, I like stopped on this panel for quite a long time, where it's just the shadow with the white mask.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Looking like Stinger.
Well,
You know
and
what I
the
mean?
panel next to it where he's holding the heart.
Yeah,
Go.
but just
But
terrifying. He looks like the
that's
Crow or
right there.
something.
Yeah.
Manny, that's it right there. How freaking great would it have been for a little lettering there of just like, he ripped this dude's heart out of his
Yeah.
chest,
And it's
and
still
for the
pumping.
heart, just slowly, like that would have been fantastic. Just
Yeah.
a little comedic button on
Yeah.
top of this ultra violence.
Just like a whoopee cushion.
A man can hope. Yeah, or just like blood still like squirting out of it, you know? He has
Squirt,
a
squirt,
fun-
squirt,
I'd be into that.
squirt.
I mean, who am I to judge these guys? But
I
I
love
think
the
it would
way
be fun.
he's got those fingers too. Like it's so chunky. Like his hand and his forearm is so much beef, and then the tiny little French fry fingers wrapping
Spin.
around it. Yeah, I like that.
Keeps him human, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the shot of him finally like revealed with the mask on, like on the TV, is great.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny because it's like, I don't know if this is like, I don't want to say it's like a waste of page space, but like it's just like this whole exchange with them just like being like, and I guess it's not a waste if it's meant to just really reinforce the relationship between the father or the butler, evil Alfred and like evil Bruce, whatever his name is, the gangster guys.
Mr. Duval.
Like Duval, like the Duvals are like an interesting device to bring in what's the big boy's name? Binder. But like you don't hate them or like them enough to justify their ending. Is like one takeaway I kind of had with the book. Like I think the sequence with him later on, which we'll get into with like the propane tanks, was like cool, but like
so good.
not like I just didn't feel any weight or stakes in these characters. Like I mean hindsight's always 2020, but it may have benefited like to introduce this crime family element in the first volume as like the actual people behind some stuff that was going on, and like the librarians just kind of like there in the shadows or whatever. But like I just have no attachment. They're fun enough, you know what I mean? But it's like it's just like kind of how the villains end up being in like later John Wick movies, where there's not that like personal connection that like the Russian guy has in the beginning. Like he was perfect, but then as those movies went on, you kind of just care less and less about them as individuals and more just like what they represent as a part of the organization that John Wick is like. That's kind of how I feel about these people.
No, we don't know anything about the table.
Yeah,
so.
There's just like a guy on a camel in the desert, and you're like, I guess this guy's evil. I don't know what you have to like cut off your finger.
Shooting him.
Yeah,
he's bad.
You do bring up a good point, Kev, because there's the group that like goes to hunt down Strode, and they end up beating up Petra towards the end of the first one. And it would have almost been great for them to drop like Mr. So-and-so and then just tie that into the beginning of this, which would something like that to add some breadcrumbs to where they're going. But it does make me think, this may have been something that was dreamed up in part one, just being, well, we want to do part one. If there's a part two that somebody wants to pick up, that's great. And then they got a part two. And they're like, oh, well, crap, we already know what we want to do. And so it feels like parts 2 and 3 are very connected to each other. And that may feel why part 1, there's a little more of a disjointed feeling to it. And I think the middle part, as far as you're saying, bad guy characters and giving them some kind of real weight, it's just not there. The weight we get is from the binder and what he means to it all.
Like the bad guys in this like volume are there to just like serve a purpose to be the guys that Luther fights. You know what I mean? But they carry less of like a thematic relevance where it was like really like that man versus monster sort of thing within Luther in the first like volume. Like there's a little bit less of that in this one. You know what I mean? Like this is great and it is just a ton of fun. But it's not one of those comics where I put it down and I feel like I like had some sort of like emotional revelation, that I learned something, that I truly connected. You know, I just had a kick-ass time reading it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine. Not every book is going to make me cry like Murder Falcon. You know what I mean? But like
any Daniel Warren Johnson story.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them.
But you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to immediately want to go and like smoke a cigarette and stare out of a window like after reading like a Brubaker book. You know what I mean? Like this is just like I read it and I was like, nah, that was fun, and I put it down. You know what I mean? Like no regrets or anything. Like I loved it, but
when we end this
like
issue,
a slasher, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good comparison actually, and probably like kind of a direct kind of inspiration to what they were doing with all the slasher covers that they kind of do with the alt covers.
Yeah. Let's do a superhero, but a slasher.
Yeah, that's probably a better comparison actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about not wanting to like not making you want to stare out the window and smoke a cigarette, but when I get that shot of Petra at the end of the I mean,
settle down, Benny. Keep it in your pants, bud.
Well, and so I have the single issue, so it's interesting because it looks like it fades to black for you guys in the omnibus. In the single issues, you start to get some of the little additional stories that pop up in the back.
That's still
my favorite.
Is it this thing? No, that's Strange Talent. There's just like these illustrations in the back matter. I won't dwell on this page too long, Ben. I know that one will get you going.
Oh, God, that one is so good. There's like a couple additional stories. So you've got, and I wish maybe it says in the front.
There's like the autopsy. There's like
the autopsy is awesome, and the autopsy is on the back cover.
Cool.
Which is really cool because you get the gorgeous cover here of Luther Strode in the mask speckled with blood, and then the autopsies on the back, and a little. I mean, in case you were wondering, is this Luther Strode? There's a little fake post-it note. It's like Luther Strode, maybe. But and I've read the autopsy a couple of times. It's so interesting to hear. My favorite are in the notes. Like the rest of it reads like a potential autopsy would, but the notes at the bottom are well developed, well nourished, white male with multiple fragment injuries, including amputations of both upper extremities and mid forearm, and partial fragmentation of the detached portions of the extremities. I just love that well developed, well nourished white male.
Yeah, well nourished is a great touch. Yeah,
I don't know who it is that draws that, but at the end of most of these single issues, you get a little. It's by the same animator, and I'm drawing a blank. And then you get a Kate or Die, like let's learn about murder.
Oh my God.
That's a multi-part series that they do throughout the books, which I think is fantastic. And the first one. What is this about Al Capone? Let's see. Yes. Despite all signs pointing to the rival gang leader Al Capone, he has never proven guilty for the crime. So the first one's about Al Capone. And we get a gorgeous Andrew McLean pinup of Luther Strode. So, pretty awesome.
Damn.
The stories are in this book. It's crazy.
All right, sorry. That was issue 1.
Yeah, I wish those were in here. Yeah.
This could easily turn into a Murder Falcon if we're not careful. Where we're going for
Yeah. I mean, thankfully there's not too much plot to really dive in and analyze. It's just a lot of great drawings, and I don't mean that in a reductive way. But
hey, Kev and Manny, look who's on the cover at issue 2.
I know. I see you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
No boy.
I gotta have some Red Bull. Gotta stay awake.
The blood is rushing somewhere else.
I need to even it out. Even it out.
Yeah, this book, man, rad. Luther doing his one finger push-up thing is awesome on the first page. And Petra immediately busting in, and you're like, oh, she's here to kill Luther. And, she's terrified by all the murders. And the quick flashback to everybody dead is just fantastic.
The fucking jaw on the ground. The headless guy, half headless guy.
And if you notice, this is a first point of view of what she saw, and at the end of the book, because those legs that are in the front.
No, those are her legs. Yeah. Good catch.
So you're seeing it from her point of view.
Yeah, and then you see him covered in blood in the.
She is the heart. She's the soul. She's the wit of this entire book. Like kicking through this dilapidated building, and she comes in. Seriously, shouldn't have had that last trip to Taco Bell. What says that as they crawl through? It's flipping great.
And the running joke of like that she shouldn't narrate to herself is very funny.
Yeah,
right. Coming through like Avon calling Mary Kay. Like, so good.
So Petra, come to kill me, and then she's like, "Fucking fuck monkeys, fuck."
I love it. Oh, it's so good. And then trips.
Yeah. Oh man, this exchange is great. Oh, go ahead.
Put a bell around your neck for Christ's sake.
The how Trad renders faces, these like tick marks on her cheeks and stuff. Like I've noticed this throughout like the book with a lot of characters, but just that little tidbit on people's faces and their noses and stuff. Those little feathered marks, super thin. I love the way that looks.
And he started that in the first series, and he got so comfortable with it, and I agree. I love that.
Yeah. That's just like his little thing, and I feel like, because I know he mentioned that James Herron was like an inspiration a little bit at in, like the Felix art crew. Yeah, I know.
For all of us.
But yeah, because like Felix brought it up. He was like, "Hey, like who's like killing it? Who's like inspiring you and stuff?" He's like, "Well, this guy, old like fine artists that I can't remember their Italian names," and then James Herron. And I know James Herron does those kind of bits too around the eyes, and I'm wondering if he's like taken a little bit from that and puts it in there, or if this is just his own thing that he was doing a while back. I don't know, but just makes you think a little bit. Just taking things from your art heroes, and sprinkling it in.
Yeah, I mean, this book you just really get like Trad going fully into the intricacy, noodly detail stuff, which is like
the rubber.
Yeah,
the rubbery people, man. I love how he just gets crazy with it, especially in the action sequences. Everyone just turns into like a rag doll, but it works.
It's especially great when we get into like the fight with Jack, because he's like literally like this like wispy phantom character. So it's like you can do whatever you want to his anatomy and it'll like make sense and look right.
Even when he's introduced, as soon as he comes out of the thing, it's like Todd McFarlane, let's amplify those crazy poses by 11 and see what happens. We're going to turn him into Gumby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I wonder too, because we know how much he loves ultra detail.
Right.
When we were talking about Doctor Strange and his run on Doctor Strange, just how much repetitive patterns and things like that, where he can just explore and play with the way the action moves just by doing repetition. And I wonder if a lot of that was what he found so satisfying here. It's like I can show so much emotion just by really amplifying the different curvatures, because I love it in the eyes of the characters, especially Petra's. Like hers are typically always a double up. Like if she is really squinting or wincing, like those where your eyelid sits on top, there's not just one line showing that curvature. he will double that up for additional like expression, and like you pointed out, the cheek lines just helping to relay the curve of everything.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite moment. I mean, Patrick can slap me anytime she wants.
She was.
Dude, she backhands Luther here. And you have in this entire book, there will be people shooting him, like, you know, tearing chunks out of his neck, etc., like cutting off, breaking bones, all this other stuff. But like Petra backhands him, and it is that emotional like scar. He actually shows some kind of physical reaction to it, and shows just that don't do that again.
Well, I mean, it's also like someone he cares about, you know.
Yeah.
He's not going to hit her back, you know.
He's not going to, but it's also dealing with that trauma in the past, right? So it's almost like don't become this person. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love the way he does the detail on Luther's hair in these like panels where it's just like very solid shapes, but then the weird cross hatching going on is like a really cool touch.
It's almost like spaghetti noodles, but then it's also not.
Yeah, it's like sharp like a sword and pointy at times, which I really think is cool.
This is what Trad looks like now. I think he was, you know, he had short hair when he was making this. Unless he had long hair towards once he started making this part of the book. I don't know. I don't know if you know about that, Ben, but you know, he's got beautiful locks now. He looks like Luther Strode, just you know, not as buff, but
No one's
maybe one day. He's all he's got to do is read that Hercules book, and he's on his
start
way.
doing some finger push-ups and meditating.
Yeah.
Well, so when they got done with Strange Talent, he was like short hair Trad.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember if it was 2 years when they finally started. I think it was about 2 years later is when they started putting this out. May have been less. So, I mean, I don't know. All the interviews that I remember, just no one commented on his hair. They weren't like, "Wow, you really let yourself go." But it was definitely
wow, you look homeless.
Definitely short hair. Yeah. But yeah, at Heroes Con last year, like Trad had Luther Strode locks. They were gorgeous and
no, I mean, even more Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? Because he was doing the Doctor Strange with the long locks, man. It was like he drew himself.
There
you go.
That's him.
But then we get the brigade storming in, and man, oh man, is this sequence amazing! I just like lost it. Yeah,
Year one Batman.
The shadows
dude. The smoke, the shadows, everyone's out.
You know, they can never figure out where he is.
Where is he? And the slice. Boo. I love that.
Boo up in the corner is so good. And the way of demonstrating the shadow, like with the cross hatching again, like, you know, it's not, that's such a cool way to kind of demonstrate that.
Yeah. But dude, this right here, when he's like bending the form, when he's running towards the camera, Luther Strode is running towards the camera. He's like stretching that knee out, and then also just like makes that calf, like the tibia, just like bend like crazy. It's almost like it's just so fast you can't even
and
see
just
it.
People getting split in half. I love that. That
all
is
the
so
shadow
rad.
too. He was like, I'm on a deadline. I need to just shadow this up, and it looks great.
Guys,
it looks fantastic.
This guy always screaming with his eyes closed, squinting is really funny to me. I don't know. No,
he's a hardened professional. I don't have time for this. Let's get in there and get out. Let's go, boys. I'm ready for my next smoke break. Let's go.
Yeah, he said triple the price if you get him. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah. Like, that's how you do it.
It's not going to cost you much. He's going to kill them all, which is fine. Like, this is such a funny line. I'm a big fan of Binder just across the hallway with his, like, trank dart rifle.
He's just like a prepper, man. He's just...
Yeah, that Hell's Angel look is really funny on him.
Well, and I'm not a Hell's Angel person. I like that a lot too. But that's the thing that we end up finding out about Binder is he's not immortal like
Right.
or really hard to kill like the others. He's hard to kill, I guess, like the library or the librarian.
Yeah, the librarian.
And
but-
Strode.
And Strode, right? But somehow he is still the one that they call on to capture and bind anybody that is causing too much, that's raising too much suspicion and could lead to, finding out about Kane and the rest of the immortal group.
Yes. Gonna get another beer back.
He's set up to be pretty immortal-y.
Yeah, he's got the power. He
He's
did
got-
his push-ups, his reps.
Yeah, he did his
Put
reps.
it,
Even though he doesn't look like it, he looks a little portly. He may be able to. He should probably do a few more one-finger push-ups.
I should probably do just push-ups.
Dude, and we won't start on that. I gotta point out, Funky's in Kev's chat says Luther looks like a Capcom character in the best possible way. I love the crazy proportions that Trad has going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it does. He is a big fan of video games. Trad is a big fan of video games. So
Ooh, I can't wait. But that's like one of the best things is when Petra goes to gear up towards the end, and like you see in the background, and I'm like, oh, he's such a nerd.
I know.
Trad, he is such a nerd fanboy.
I love it. I'm just like, okay, there's hope for me. I can still be a gamer and an
you
artist.
can. It's okay, Manny.
It's allowed.
Okay.
It's
You're
allowed.
allowed.
There's time to play video games when you don't also have a full-time job on top of art.
Right. Can I say the one thing I'm thankful for when it comes to how mainstream comic books are getting is now you get Mortal Kombat, who's really leaning into it. They started with like Spawn. They had the characters from what is it? The
Invincibles in the new Mortal Kombat.
dude, yeah, Invincibles and
really?
Patriot.
Yeah. Omni-Man.
Patriot from Suicide Squad. He's in it.
Oh shit!
Before that, what was it? The Boys. They had like
No way.
the Superman equivalent.
Homelander.
Homelander from The Boys, where it was in there. And I'm just, if we see Trad, I'm just gonna beg him, like, please make a Luther Strode Part 4, just so we can option to get the Luther Strode character into the next Mortal Kombat game, so I can play Luther Strode. That's it. I'm not asking for much. I mean, really, when you think about it, another 6 issues. You can cut it to 4. It doesn't have to be massive, just enough to gain that additional appreciation for Luther Strode, so he can pop up in a video game and I can play as him. That's all. That's all I want.
I think it would even work if we, if Skybound was just like, hey, let's do an animated show of Luther Strode. Let's just
Would be good too. Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to have like old school 90s, like berserk style fucking guts flying everywhere. That's what we want. Okay. Hand drawn, not this AI bullshit. Okay. Get that out of my face. All right.
Can I make one I want one thing for the Luther Strode TV series.
What's that?
I want Todd McFarlane to do the narration for it, like he did for Spawn. In a dog alley.
So, back in high school, when he's a young guy, this Luther Strode guy I don't even know what he would say.
He was in a dark alley, and now we're going to see things bad happen, right? Dark alley.
He's coming in. He's a kooky guy. He's kooky. Look at him.
Man,
All right, forget it. Never mind. That was a terrible idea. Quentin Tarantino narrates.
I love Petra's kick to the nuts. Did we already talk about this?
That's her go-to.
That is sick.
Just like all those jokes, those were a kick to the nuts. Anyway,
this guy flying, like the fist flying through this guy's face on this page.
in the eyes.
Oh my god. Such a good way to demonstrate that gore. And just like as he's ripping through the wall, there's like cable and rebar like holding him back.
because when you ripping through a wall, you've got electrical cable and everything else. I love that detail. It's so good.
Fuck.
Oh, this is the best setup ever. So again, this is what you guys do so well, and I will sing your praises. But like Justin Jordan and Trad here, this is like the kind of humor I see in a Kev and Manny special. Is you see this wonderful setup where some awesome action happens, and then there's this little like moment of brevity and a little sense of humor where like, fuck, be quiet, and then
It uses him as a
the
human
binder
shield.
shoots him with like 3 trank darts, or whatever these darts are. Yeah, human shield him, and you get the reaction from the binder, and then Luther launches the dude.
Yeah, flying.
Oh, it's so good. Oh my god,
I love that. That's so funny.
the eyes just rolling in the back of his head as he's being shot.
He's fucking out of it, man. He's in space.
So awesome.
And he's dead.
Right, and dead. So good.
And we get our
I
taste
love
of Petra backing him up too with these shots through the knees.
Yeah.
What a good shot.
Oh man.
Right before that shot, we get that panel up here where the guys are coming through the hallway or whatever, and this panel is broken up by Tradmore's or Luther Strode's face in that triangle, right? But it goes up to the doorway, and we see the blood splatter on the wall that comes down, and then it leads onto the floor. It's such a cool idea. Like, it's just, when you're playing over the top video games, and then you can still see like the debris like on the walls when you do an isometric view on a video game. Tradmore's a fan. He's a fan of gaming, dude.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that throughout this whole
of us. One of us.
Wait, how do I get Petra coming in? That's great.
I also love like we don't get a ton of them in this volume of Luther, but like the muscle meat shots of seeing everybody's innards is just one of my favorite like aspects. Just that everybody's just meat.
Oh, dude.
And
the guy getting his head kicked through the wall is one of the coolest panels I've ever seen in my life.
So good.
No.
Once again, how much are we seeing onomatopoeia wise? We just see blam 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 blam, click click. There's an arg. I'm not seeing much, and that's what I love is with trad stuff. Like, he is showing so much just through his pencils and his inks that it's like, dude, like he's helping my brain. Like, my brain has this. You did all the work for me. All my brain has to do is like just as he puts his foot through the wall and through this guy's face.
Yep. I mean, there's not a bang 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 with Petra's panel either.
Right.
Yeah. Not good.
I love it. Not Petra. Okay. And like ties him to the room. They've already got this shorthand between the two of them.
Yeah.
Big fan of the sequence where he blinds Binder with the blood, just like throws blood at him.
Well, and you get the pooling effect too. Like, Petra is already doing she puts her hands up, and then just with her finger, she's like, pointing down. So I'm going to drop down. They have this shorthand already, and it just continues throughout this book. But like that pooling effect where he's just letting the blood flow out of his arm into his hand just so he can do what you're calling out, Kev.
I love the blood hitting his eyes. Like, I just kept like flipping back between the animation and like it hitting his eyes there. Just like, yeah. And Superman punching his way across, like just more dynamic, beautiful action.
Amazing. I love that pose so much.
And then thump.
Oh, no fucking way.
Yes way indeed. I mean, this, like, I think the pacing on every single like end page is fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bullet popping out.
bullet popping out of his shoulder. Freaking
Oh.
awesome. That little minute detail. So good.
That's great.
What's in the back matter of that single issue, Ben?
All right, so we get more of the like very animated style, and Petra coming in and finding Luther naked, and you know, she looks at the wall, and then you just hear Petra, and the sequence is so good. It's like Petra standing there with a gun on him, and he's like, "Hey," she goes, "Get out here." And like goes over. I kind of need my pants, because she's standing on his pants at the bottom. And then it's Let's Learn About Murder with Katie or Die, and this one's about Lizzie Borden.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's so good. Let's see.
Well, that's tying back into our slasher movie, murder angle of it all.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that does the art in the back here. There's a shawl. The Z and Z. I don't. Does that look familiar to anybody?
No.
It looks cool though.
Z, yeah, dude. The art in the back is always freaking cool.
I'm into that.
Yeah, that eye was sick.
But
Logan Farrer, like this
oh yeah,
one.
that's in the back of this
Nice.
one actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get this one's so freaking good. Luther is bad.
Dude, it's great.
So good.
Oh.
And then the back of the book is this incredibly like detailed shot from the last book where he took out like the whole gang. You get the smashed car and all the dead body and carnage all the way up to the stairwell. So good.
That's
Excellent.
Yeah. The dude smashed through the snacks machine or the candy machine. Love that. Love that.
Chapter 9. I mean, come on. This is where things
Chapter
really
3.
Yeah, issue 3 of Legend, issue 9 of the whole kit and caboodle. Man, we get this insane fight sequence between Binder and Luther. And these shots are just so sick.
oh yeah.
Back to two gods fighting each other.
Dude. This panel right here with him just that like their perspective just being just right onto the ground. Or like that's where everything's ending right there. And then he pushes it back. It's like a trick that Mobius will do in a lot of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is he puts that horizon line right on the ground and then everything is like pointing. Like you just put that like vanishing point somewhere and then everything is going to point towards that one vanishing point in the background. But don't need to draw anything on the ground.
Nope.
It's a fucking line.
That's good.
Yeah. That's great.
Work smarter, not
Love that.
harder.
That's right.
Oh man.
Yeah, and we get more of those noodly kicks and dodges and impacts. And it just...
And the hair.
Oh, yeah. The hair, I think that's part of... I mean, that's got to just be why he's got the long hair, just because it's so dynamic and fun to just whip around and animate.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then we get a little backstory about Binder. And
Hold on,
just
can I say my favorite dialogue though, real quick?
Yes.
Petra's running down the stairs to escape this fight between Luther and the Binder, and it's just all swearing.
Shit, fuck, shit.
It's like, again, she is my point of view character. That's what I would be doing. Run away. These guys are going to try to murder each other, and I don't want to get murdered.
This whole building is going to collapse with them. Like...
Yeah.
This is the Slipknot music video.
Yeah. Dude, how sick is this sequence where he throws like the 8 or 9 knives into him? And you get that animated yeah, dude. Those lines are so cool. This big old noodly bent out pose is sick. Yeah. Give me that. I want more of that. It looks so good. I'm just gonna push
This
it
is
up.
where I want to ask him. I did not talk to him other than, can you sign my books last year? Now I just want to talk to him about Luther Strode and New World. But this is what in Naruto you would call kunai, like these knives. So it makes me wonder, I'm like, was he reading Naruto at the time?
No, kunai is just the
you know,
term for that weapon across any manga. That's not just across
well,
all things. That's just what they're called. You know, you wouldn't be like,
yes,
you wouldn't be like this sword I saw in Samurai Champloo. They call them swords.
They call them guns, right? But that's true. But it just makes me wonder, you know, where did that influence come from? The little ninja daggers.
I mean, just I think the idea that like murder transcends history and culture, you know, like that is like the kind of I think implication is like these murderers have the tools of murderers across all history, culture, and time, like geography, you know, like.
I think you're reading too much into it. I think he just liked anime video.
Yeah, I think everybody's just a big dumb weeb.
He's just, again, he's a nerd. He's one of us. One of us.
Yeah. But yeah, we get those shots of the hive again with the weird chained up like centipede larvae like assassins. I love that shot.
So good.
We need to talk about how amazing this shot of Luther spitting a tooth out of his mouth to break this like syringe in half. That,
oh yeah,
I lost my shit. With the patoo, and then the tooth just like shooting across the panel there.
Just like a callback to the first book too, or whatever, when the big bad baddie that's chained up shoots his tooth out.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
But it's also like he's on board, man. He's one of them. Like, you know,
He knows what he's capable of. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that like classic superhero like Jedi thing, you know, where it's like, how does he know how to do this all just like straight away? You know, where does this mastery come from? He's untaught, like he's uncultured, untrained. It's just raw power and ability.
He's just tapping in, man.
He's that good, man. He's just
that good. And I love this scene down here in the bottom right with the binder just like shooting and the way those legs are.
Well, and the way that like the smoke and everything tunnels in like a circle pattern like through it, you know, so he's like this vortex of smoke and speed.
Yep. It's all just like fisheye lens.
Yeah.
It's not like a perfect straight line. It's curved. It's a little skewed. I like that.
It makes everything feel fucking oomphy and fast and dynamic.
One thing I want to point out, you know, Kev, you were talking about loving that X-ray view. We start to get the X-ray view on Luther and just his ability to control his muscles and like shoving those daggers, those little knives out of his body. And we will get more of that, which shows like his ability to control what he can do just with his interior muscles and his body as in general, which is really cool.
Yes. It's piss.
Truly.
Man.
Love the folds on the clothes, the beards, the hair. It's all just like these crazy patterns, but it all looks natural at the same time, even though it's super stylized.
Yeah, I love that he does like that kind of anime thing with everybody's hair where it's like those obvious kind of like thick, heavy thing. Like it just reminds me of like Yu-Gi-Oh! With like the crazy Yugi hair. You know what I mean? Where it just has such like interesting shapes to it that like you can just kind of manipulate to like emphasize the point of whatever you're animating, which I think is like really smart, but also just looks amazing. Like Petra's got it going on too in all of her shots with the wind just constantly kicking up her spikes and ponytail and all that.
Yeah, everyone's got a hairstyle.
Except bald Alfred guy.
Yeah.
Speaking of Petra, gosh.
Speaking of Petra.
Oh, look.
Keep those hands where I can see him, Ben. Yeah, her in this van. I love this sequence.
So good.
Driving it around. I mean, just the blood spewing out, hit fucking the binder landing on the van. Boom.
Oh, and he's smiling. Yeah. He's rushing out of the nose when he smiles.
Still shaky, son. Better than you.
And then tackle.
You drive, I shoot. I'm gonna start shooting. Like basically. Man.
It just Petra again shows that she's a standalone character. The little face off with Mikey, where she finds out her assault rifle's out of ammunition. You just see the little click. She goes like, "Oh, come on!" So he laughs. She just grabs the barrel of the gun and just cracks him across the face with the butt of the gun. It's just like, she can think on her feet. There's no problem. And then I love the pistol arc when she is shooting out of the van, and like you just see, it's not just a simple bang, like a little flash. The flash itself, like, is huge and bulbous and arcs that just add so much to. She's a badass.
Well, it's like, and the light is like, she's, it's moving so fast that the light is like physically like spewing out with like a smoky almost like texture and shape.
So good.
Adding more of that speed and that heft. This is a cool touch.
Yeah.
And then they drive off, man.
It makes me want to draw. I'm just not that good.
Shut your beautiful lips.
I love
I will tell you this, Manny, exactly what Petra says. For you, big guy, anything except anal.
and he's like behind you, and she's about to say, "That's what I mean."
Just the one hand that just grabs her. That's crazy.
Here we go. We get more bendy. This is like super bendy Luther.
Oh yeah.
He grabs her, and you get the red streaks where he's just super pissed. He just looks more like a demon than he does.
Dude, the way the legs bend backward is just so funny with the warp of the speed, like I just
yeah.
And then like when he's just a shadow here in this middle panel as the like van is taking off, and like the animation is with the headlights, carrying on from before with the.
I love that.
Oh yeah,
one of my favorites.
I love the top panel on the next page. Like after you get them taking off and he's almost able to grab her hand, just how long and extended he looks. Yeah. Again, playing with stretching, and it's not just stretching at an angle, just showing that horizontal stretch.
That's just like I'm sure he drew it once and was like, I can extend that and just exaggerate it more. Probably what he did.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing.
Yeah. I mean, it's on paper. Fuck it. Who cares? Just stretch it. It's not real. It's the whole point.
Everything's fisheye, speed lines, warping, and noodles. It's just everybody.
So he looks like a rock and roller here in this with the Alfred guy, just like on the ground. Those tight ass pants.
Yeah, channeling his inner Joey Ramone with those jeans.
Yeah. I mean, more Iggy Pop, I feel like.
No, true. With the
shirt being gone.
I'm too busy with my girl Petra. Brock, do you keep all of our streams up when this is going on? That's what I want to know.
Oh, man. And we go back to, dude, you love that little shadowy shot of Luther?
Yeah, he looks like Batman, man.
Oh, so good.
Abs. Those are some scary abs.
Oh, man.
But, like, the bulk of this, story is, like, getting back to the mansion and then unleashing the evil. I love the vault, the cube box. What a cool, weird Necronomicon-y thing going on. Like the fact that it just like fits on a table is really funny. What a crazy idea that like, you just keep them chained up in like these cocoons basically and then unleash them.
I love how
Oh,
they're like, I want a Jack in the Box, you know?
Oh my god. How did
a
I not
literal Jack in the
How
Box.
did I not see it?
Oh man.
Brilliant.
Dude, because look at the side. Like he
Got
uses the key, but at
Yeah,
the
with the
side
crank.
there's a crank. There's a crank. It's a Jack.
What a ripper, dude.
Oh, he's the charming one, isn't he? I just imagine he sounds like Cobra Commander from the 80s G.I. Joe cartoons.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
When he gets out of the vault, you get that first inkling of just how bendy and stretchy he can be. He doesn't even just kind of step out. It's like he slithers
Like
out. I mean, you
out,
call
yeah.
that, right? Oh,
Just like
He's like the Hat Man from the Conjuring movies.
yeah.
He was Conjuring 2. Oh, I do like gingers.
Scary.
And then
that
like
Head on.
the Jack in the Hat. Oh. His little murder bag where he gets his daggers out of.
the
Dude, I
curved
love
daggers.
These
Yeah.
with the light following the mouth and the eyes. It's just like
So
you
good.
just feel the burn, you know. The piercing eyes.
Oh man.
Oh god, this that last
Oh.
panel.
Oh.
That last panel. This is going to be ever so much fun.
I think
All
you
the-
should do the voiceover for all the
For
like read-alongs. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so easy. Ev, you got it. You got the
Silly voices are fun. And then God, the cover to match like afterwards that like it's chapter 10, he's doing an X with his knives. It's the continuation. It looks so fucking cool. God damn it. Oh, I love this book.
absolutely gorgeous. So here we go. We got Binder. Binder's having a hard time in our little animated thing here. You know,
Oh, it's
having
like
trouble.
a retelling of that last scene, yeah.
Yep. Well, what are you gonna do, fat boy? And then I choose you, and he throws a Pokeball, and you get
Jack
Jack.
the Ripper. Jack the Stripper.
Let's see, and then we got Cater Die. Cater Die is doing the
Ooh,
Blood
Elizabeth
Countess.
Bathory.
Yep. This has like one of my favorite pieces of fan art though in it. Let's see. I wish they would put their names on this stuff. I want to be able to. I don't know who did this one, but I love like that orange
Cool.
burning hue to it. This
cool.
one's pretty cool by Warlick, where you get the
Blood
shadowy
dripping
stuff.
off of him. Yeah. Oh, the eyeball.
The dude with the eyeball. Let's see. Who don't people need to put their names? That one's really fun.
I like that.
Hell yeah.
Squishy.
Kind of reminds me of like Box Trolls and some of the more recent claymation stuff that's out there. But
Yeah, I could see that.
Very cool.
this one, the Saturday Morning Post.
Luther Strode Legendary Breakfast.
Oh, dude, it is so flipping good. Love it.
Fuck yeah.
But of course,
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of like anybody that loves Norman Rockwell as well. So, or Saturday Evening Post, right? It wasn't the morning; it was Saturday Evening Post.
Good question. I don't know too much about Norman Rockwell.
You should.
Yeah. He's
Fair
a
enough.
fucking man.
Onto this gorgeous thing. Holy
10.
smokes.
And
Issue 4, which would be what, part 6 is what you guys are on?
Chapter 10.
Chapter 10. That's it, chapter 10.
So who are you? And then the guy,
The hero's
yeah,
entrance. Look at that. He's in the superhero pose.
but like in a totally different interpretation of the hero pose. Yeah, God, the blood and guts hanging from that guy in the foyer.
Mikey.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, they killed Mikey.
There's no them, Luther, just us. It's just going to be me. And then this is where it is a whole issue of animated fights. And it just works.
Yeah.
Just the constant jumping over each other, punching through each other, getting stabbed and blood and like these crazy contorted poses. Oh, it is cool, man. So cool.
Throws all the debris, the whole freaking thing, just smashing on the stairs, the whole railing.
I love that this is a
He does
2-page
all of
spread,
it.
but it's like he's really going out there with some of these panel shapes, and like the way he cuts it up is just really smart.
Yeah.
And I think, Binder called it out here. Jack the Ripper calls it out. Just talking about Luther's ultimate weakness at the moment is there's no finesse. It is just all straight lines. Like, I'm going to punch, I'm going to kick. And, yeah, you're strong, you're fast, but there's no style. So.
Well, I mean, he also learned fighting in high school, so yeah, it's pretty much all he's gonna do.
He's just gonna throw hands and just clobber,
Yep.
It's clobbering time, am I right?
Strength. There
you go.
Oh god, the animation with this like helixing thing going on with this just looks like an atom or something. All these like lines slashing around in big old arcs.
Once again, going back to that anime style, right? He's staying still, but Jack is just so fast. He's everywhere at once. Oh, it's so good.
So rad.
Rad trad, dude.
Rad trad.
And
More like rad more, am I right, guys?
Leaving the little binder seal on Luther.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the sequence. This is one of my favorite 3 panels where he dives at him with his knives forward and then Luther grabs his feet and then wham.
Boom.
Yeah. This is pretty beautiful. And that's pure trad there, and that explosion, the detail and the dust and smoke and debris all flying in different directions.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna ask you guys again. This is technically 4 parts in. Anybody missing the onomatopoeia, especially with something like that?
I'm always missing the onomatopoeia.
Does it lose anything by not having it boom in the background, or does your brain just automatically put that in there for you?
My brain automatically does it, honestly.
No, I'm not saying that it's any better or worse for not having onomatopoeia. I just really like onomatopoeia. Think about you're gonna tell me that the way that Daniel Warren Johnson draws his action with onomatopoeias isn't sick. You know what I mean? Those big.
I'm not gonna argue that, but maybe it's just not Trad's strong, or wasn't Trad's strong suit back in the day, right?
Right.
Didn't have the confidence.
But now he does.
Now he does. But I'm honestly not sitting here going oh, I wish they would have done a zoom and a zip and a boom. I don't.
Yeah. I think it's interesting though that they're doing the onomatopoeias a little bit it's kind of
just not super consistently. So it makes you, when you use it so sparingly, you kind of have to look at it a little bit closer. Yeah. You know what I mean? To be why not?
Maybe is it when they actually hurt them they use the onomatopoeias, or
I don't think, because you get the he, which I love whenever they do Jack's little giddy stuff, his ha ha ha. I love the way they do his really aggressive stuff as Jack. But like that he and then thunk, I don't know that it's not showing or, I mean, it's fun, right? It's like, okay, I get it. And there's room for it. But there are parts where, and I mentioned this earlier, less is more. At this point, you just let Trad do what he does. And when you see it, like it's, oh yeah, this world makes sound. But the rest of the time, your brain's just taking over for you.
Chat, if you're in the chat, let's leave this to the chat. What do we think about onomatopoeias? Do we like more bing, bang,
Do we
boom,
mean in general,
zoom?
or do we mean for this book?
Either way, just let's discuss onomatopoeias. Like,
I'm not bagging on onomatopoeias. I would love it. I would
Ben
love
Hill
that.
is a confirmed hater.
I wonder too, going back to what we were talking about, is this something where, you know, is somebody giving them phonographics notes saying, yeah, thunk, like it's in the script, put a thunk.
Don't ever put a thunk in my page.
Right,
Is what he was saying.
Like, let it breathe.
Let it ride. Yeah, Noah says I love it, but the artist should be doing it. Yeah, I mean it should definitely be planned out. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be like too much. You know, well, I mean when we were talking about Hound, there was a lot of those pages where it was just added in by the letterer and it just worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was cool. But back to Luther. Petro getting the strength back after being knocked out.
So fuck you.
Yeah, that's just a fun sequence. Fuck yeah. And then once again, she's narrating herself and getting herself into trouble.
Yep.
One of my favorite lines of dialogue is like, your boy Strode is out of control. I'm going to make sure he doesn't hurt anybody else. She's like, you're going to kill him. And he's like, kill him? Why would I want to kill him? What he does, it's holy. I wish I had the gifts he does but for all of his power, he's still a man. And if he continues like he has been, sooner or later, someone will find a way to kill him. I'm not trying to kill Luther. I'm trying to save him. Ben showing his hands to demonstrate that every Petra panel is not, arousing him to touch himself.
There's a lot of Petra on the page. I'm enjoying it.
It's okay. We appreciate the accountability you take, Ben. Yeah, the throwing the huge table as Luther storms in, still fighting Jack. Man, this is like one of my favorite Jack panels here. This like weird little detail where he literally looks like he's a spider. It's like like him tiny on this page, but it just like works. That is great.
Well, if you look at the very top panel, he is at the very pinnacle.
Oh yeah, he's up there.
Table. Yeah,
Good catch.
he's all the way up there.
It kind of blends in with the debris.
Does not miss anything. Yeah.
I also love the choice on this, like the second page in this like piece where like you get the overhead shot and the swirling smoke. Like Trad is really smart when he decides to push in and pull out with his camera work and like play with different POVs and perspectives, like to just keep a fight feeling fresh. Because this is basically like a 22-page fight sequence issue. The whole issue is just them fighting, and it works so well. It's it's people getting noodled and speed lined out of control, but it just keeps working. It always looks good.
Oh, the next upcoming part with the binder. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shooting the taser into him.
Then grabbing the knives.
Ow.
So stop. No. This fucking headbutt is so rad. I was like, it looks like he's just in this scene where he's pulling on the knives though, it does just look like he's kind of aggressively twisting his nipples.
Yeah, but yeah. But with knives.
This isn't a Nickelodeon comic, man. It'll have those 5-inch nipples.
Just little nipple
they do. Those are crazy.
I'm gonna get you, Luther.
Maybe he should have bigger protruding nipples. Actually, we've never. This has never surfaced, but it's
I
not
mean,
a
have
bad
we
idea.
seen an Aaron Conley Luther Strode? I mean,
It's
we'd
fair.
probably
He's
get
got he can draw the fuck out of a big nipple.
yeah, you can.
I mean, I don't remember Legacy all that well. He could have massive nips when you want to.
Yeah. Chat, are we pro nipple or anti nipple?
Yeah, I gotta hear what Brock and
Leave your comments in the chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube later, leave your comments below. We gotta get the great nipple discourse going. Should Luther Strode have big pokies? Should he have like flat pancakes, pepperonis, nickels, dimes? What are we working with? Let us know.
An Audi? I don't.
No one should ever have an Audi. That's weird.
An Audi nipple.
No, Audi belly button.
Oh, I thought Manny was talking about any nipples. I was like, that sounds uncomfortable.
Any nipples are, you know what? No body shaming here.
I was saying it was uncomfortable. There's no shame in it.
Ben is a confirmed hater.
We've got 5 viewers on Manny's stream. Nobody's commenting. We've got
Manny's stream that applies to you. What kind of nipples are we working with? Should Luther have? Should most super? I mean, if you want to talk about your own nipples, that's fine. But I would prefer you keep it to comics. But I'm not going to control you. I believe
Look
everybody
at this.
should.
They send in a picture like no.
Please send in your nipple pictures to mouthbreathersguild@gmail.com.
There you go. I was gonna say kiwispicy@gmail.com.
Yeah, either or works.
Does this look infected to you? We are not doctors.
I don't want to see your nipples. I want to see pictures of other nipples. Comic nipples, udders on cows.
Just want to clear things up.
Yeah.
I love how dynamic. All right, we'll get back to Luther's.
Dude, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Nipple discourse.
I love how dynamic this
pose is fantastic.
Luther, 1 foot on the ground. He's got Jack with one arm. He's got the binder pinned to the wall with his leg. Oh, it's so good.
It's fire. It looks amazing. Hell yeah. And then having the guy wake up just like as like a brief like respite, and like his guts just pouring out on the floor, and the trail of
quiet
blood.
moment. Yeah.
That leads you to the butler. I mean, this is literally the whole payoff with the butler is this sequence.
So good.
The shot with the propane tanks, and his pistol, loading it all up, talking to her, are you with them or with him? Which answer won't get me shot? The right one. Very fun. Very fun.
Hands up.
And then we jump back into it, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that leg just wrapping around this dude's fucking arm.
But all this builds up to the page turn, and the page turn is so rough. But I love Luther grabs one of the knives out of his chest and just throws it right into the binder's eye.
Yeah.
I love the continual like blinding motif with the binder. You know what I mean? They should call him the blinder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nailed it.
Bitch.
But the fact that he punches Jack's face around and snaps his neck. He's like, I know you're not dead. You can quit playing possum.
Yeah. I've seen this neck trick before.
I love that callback.
Turn a page. It hurts.
God, getting his arm snapped is crazy.
Yeah. That part was just like, what is happening? He's like a fragile little guy now.
Oh. And then like this like full on anime like the 1,000-hand. You know what I'm saying? This is like the Iden skill. With the million fists.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh god, there's so much pain on these 2 pages. The binder pulling the knives out of his eyes.
Ow. and getting thrown on the ground with your fucking sliced
Oh,
up arm.
And like the detail of him getting his hair pulled like this down here is just like excruciating. Yeah. Oh, what a good fight scene. What
Yeah.
the stakes are high, you know, like we're feeling Luther losing it. And I like having like this kind of almost blacking out happening with these like heavier blacks, like the panel shapes. This is just a really great sequence. Oh, it even continues on to the next page. As he hits the ground, black. They're standing over him, black. They take the mask off, black, and then everything's in shadow in this bottom corner, which I think is really smart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And then cut to the
Hey.
bright light of Petra.
Oh, there we go. We're nerding out again. Petra goes to load up on the weapons, and look what's hanging on the wall.
Yeah. Oh,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy weapons.
The BF sword.
Yep.
Dragon Buster sword.
Yeah. And then
Is that
let's
the Ark
see,
of the
there's-
Covenant on the right hand side?
could be.
Like the thing from Indiana Jones where he shines the light through it in Raiders?
I think.
Don't look at them.
No. That is. Hold on. Super nerd moment. Final Fantasy X. It is a character named Yuna. It is her summoner staff.
Oh wow!
Good
He's
call.
a big Final
Good
Fantasy
call.
guy.
You get the Buster Sword, Cloud's Buster Sword. You get Indiana Jones' whip. You get Mega Man's blaster.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what are those swords up there on top of the door frame?
I can only name one, but it is. Which one is it? 5? Final Fantasy 5 with Squall Leonhardt. He is the one that has the gun blade. That's the one that's on the left. So Squall is one of my favorite Final Fantasy characters, which is the only reason I recognize that one.
Wow. That's great.
That's cool, man.
But again, just love to see all the nerd love showing up, along with all the guns and artillery.
Yeah.
The Mega Man blaster is hilarious.
Yeah. The guns are rad. Man, we love this is such a classic sequence we see in so many different like action movies, comics. Just someone crying at the sight of a room full of guns is beautiful. And then what a great page to end the book on. Just him sprawling, looking like Venom hanging from the ceiling. Yeah.
I actually showed this to my oldest daughter, and she was like, "Wow, that looks amazing." I was like, "Yeah, but then you got to also read the dialogue that Petra ends with. Now let's go hunt us some assholes." All right, hands up, Petra. Dude, that's so hot.
It's so hot.
Just Ben goes to his wife. He's like, "Honey, have you ever thought about dyeing your hair red?" No reason.
Put a couple of temporary tattoos on your
Can you put this shirt on real quick?
Inside of you there are two wolves, one that wants to be jacked like Luther Strode, and the other who wants the alt girl goth mommy. Man. Yeah, her shooting. Oh yeah.
In case
Back to Jack the Stripper.
Back to Jack the Stripper, and we get we get all the SWAT team guys show up. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? There's a fight going on with Luther and some of them, whereas some of the other guys, they're just taking in the sights.
Jesus.
Until Jack murders them all. And you know, don't mind the impalement here.
Oh, the knife impalement as like a strap on. That's fun.
That's funny as hell.
And then here we go. Now we get Kate or Die, and we talk about Jack the Ripper.
I mean, that's so fun. Why didn't they put that in the trade, man? Maybe it's a rights issue with Kate or Die. Like they couldn't.
Yeah.
They didn't own those rights, and they were just like, it's probably easier if we just don't worry about it. But I feel deprived. I feel like I've missed out on something.
Yeah. It's like, well, I wish we had the collection in the back of this book here.
Soltis Man. Is
Dude,
that Xander or Ty? You no need to dox yourself. It's fun.
Yeah, you don't have to dox. Here you go. Quick little pinup gallery. Got a cool one of Luther in the binder. They got just a lot of badass ones of Luther. Dude, this one with like
that's in the back of this one. That one is sick. Him in the gym clothes is fire.
And then this one. I don't know. This one's in the back.
That's not. But that's
Petra, but that's on the back cover. So if you just accidentally turn this around on the shelf at a comic book store when you bought
getting a big old shot of something you weren't ready for.
Whoops, what's going on?
Mom, I need an adult. But damn, this book starts fucking kicking it up and everything starts blowing up. Yeah, that's the same cover. So it's on the inner cover of this one.
Yeah, all the covers are thankfully the same because you get gorgeous Petra.
Then we get more Petra. Watch out.
More Petra firing that Tommy gun.
Hands up.
Oh yeah.
And that, wow. This 2-page spread is fire. Yeah.
So good. The shell casings in the foreground. You get her.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Jack.
Debris, smoke, those crazy evil eyes that Jack's got in this corner are nuts. We've talked about the muzzle flashes throughout, but just like those big haloing circles that just kind of dance and move around they're always jagged shapes and kind of crazy. Just exquisite.
And Manny, this is where I feel we always talk about when artists hit their stride, right?
Well,
I feel like he's been playing around with some of the shapes, and that's definitely been really relevant. But holy smokes, like between this issue and the next one, everything is super bendy. Everything's really elongated. He's starting to play with just how these characters stretch and move, and man, it is so good. Because Jack, like, one foot's on the wall. Those arms coming back, they look like giant Gumby arms. They're so exaggerated that just make him look. I mean, you brought it up, Kev. He looks like Venom. Yeah. And that you've got what would be the right leg. The foot is like way back in the back.
He does this a lot. The way he twists characters around is really interesting. Just like, everybody's either bending or twisting or it's just, she got like spaghetti arms is exactly right. Everybody's got spaghetti arms in this book except for Luther. He's got like salami, like pepperoni logs. He's just so beefy, dude. Man. And then I love the feet on the back, on the top of the bed in the next panel. Like, I don't know why his toes are so funny to me.
It's little toes.
Like, it's just like, if you're going to be evil, I shouldn't be able to see your toes. You know what I mean? I immediately, unless you've got an irregular number of toes, that makes you more scary. Like 4 toes, 6 toes, terrifying. If you're just a 5-toe man, how am I supposed to be intimidated by you? You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that? Like, you're just what? One little piggy went to the market. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, come on, what's going on?
Your piggy, give to me. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy danced,
and that's how we get Jack the Stripper.
Actually, if he does start talking about his piggies, it gets scary again.
Yeah. So,
but the more and more, and he played with it on the cover of issue 4. Just those eyes, just electric, and then teeth, like the whole face blacks out, the eyes go electric, and you see the teeth. It just adds to that image of how demonic Jack is, and it's so effective. He uses it sparingly, but when like Jack is starting to power up or whatever, go super demonic, I love it when he does.
Yeah, dude.
He's using the special.
When his special meter fully charges up.
He can go ultra killer now. Watch out.
Yeah. Everyone's got a special in this book. Yeah.
Super
Mr.
Saiyan.
Duval's special is coming up.
Dude, Mr. Duval's special is great. He almost looks like the Blob, like the way that they make his belly really big and like the way his leg twists down here. Super weird.
That's the binder. Mr. Duval is
that's right.
Alfred
binder.
Mafia Alfred.
I feel like I fucked up. Like I don't remember anybody's name in this series.
I couldn't remember in the first one. You were helping me out. I was like, I don't know, what's the bully's name?
I don't remember anymore. That was 2 weeks ago. You expect me to remember that shit? Yeah.
Huh. I'm just kidding. I know what I ate for dinner.
I don't. Anyway, this is the final payoff of Bald Man.
Bald
Man.
Mafia Alfred.
Alec Baldwin. You're just getting into the room with the propane canisters. Race you to hell, badass. Yeah, dude, these explosions. This was like when I was like, oh yeah, here's full trad, with just how noodly and intricate these smoke shapes get is like so sick, and the warping there. Yeah, let me see if I can get good close-ups on that. Yeah.
Show the one of just Luther.
Oh yeah, I love that. It was just Petra.
This goes flying.
He's just a little, he's all chained up. Just gets launched out.
It's like a little Luther football.
Yeah, just flying. Or a wrecking ball, I guess.
Dude, and the kissing panel down here with Petra is so funny. Just like the way that the wrinkles and the paper just create all those lines to the puckered lip is really funny. I'm really into that.
Please do that line in the snake voice.
We'll continue this later, sweetness. Opportunity has come knocking.
Oh, it's so good.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly. It's gross. It's so good.
Nasty. Oh, gross.
Dude, yeah, him melting and exploding binder on these next couple pages is like absolutely grotesque.
The muscles on the face are amazing.
It looks like Last of Us, just like with the fungus.
Yeah. It was a clicker, man. It's a clicker.
Gnarly.
The holes in the skin with the muscles underneath, and
yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be dead after that explosion.
I think I could make it. I could just put me in a fridge, like Indiana Jones, and I'd survive anything.
There you go.
We could put you in one of those little Jack-in-the-Box things. Would that work?
Yeah, dude. That's how you survive anything. Explosions,
go in a box.
Nukes, getting your limbs ripped off. You just sit in a box and you're fine. It's that easy.
What's in the box?
It's me.
Kevin.
I'm in the box.
Then Binder finally gets his head cut off, and all the blood just everywhere.
Dude, the way the blood dances around in that panel is crazy. I'm so into that.
Yeah. Just like, look. It's just...
This is actually my favorite Petra line in the whole book. Hey, you know what sucks? Fucking everything.
I love her. Oh my gosh. And can I also, what I love is this is like Luther's power-up moment. If there's anything that looks like Dragon Ball Z, it's his hair going everywhere, his eyes just wide open with the black pupils and like the red irises and just these really tight close-ups. So it's just it's so freaking good. He looks amazing.
I can't remember if it was like you that I was talking to about this, Ben, or if I just like heard it somewhere, but like the whole reason that like Akira Toriyama made like the Super Saiyans go yellow like when they went super powered up was just because he hated inking the black hair on all the characters. And so he just simplified it by making it yellow and white so that he didn't have to color it.
I was like,
That's
out of
awesome.
everything that you have to color, like, why was it that one thing? It's not like not like his hair was super.
And it's like Toriyama does some of the most intricate like noodle designs on like, you know, like his vehicles and his backgrounds and stuff. Which is just like, I can't draw this hair any fucking more. It's just like one line. You know, that's it. Like
What?
yeah, and then once he sees Luther going Super Saiyan, he's just like, oh my.
Perfect. No notes. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, his whole dialogue. Oh, how bright the flames of desire. Oh, it's so good.
Like we're gonna skip ahead a little bit with this, but like we'll get to it. But why the mall is like where he's like, I can't wait to go out into society and murder people. It's time to go to the mall. Like it
Can I tell you why?
why?
Because where Justin and Trad would meet to like talk about the script or talk about comic books or just hang out is the mall that he draws. So it was just like Trad going, this would be a
Wow.
crazy place to like murder a bunch of people. And Justin going, yeah, you're right. That would be really freaking crazy. That was it. They're just like, yeah, a mall would have a lot of people to murder. So why wouldn't you go to the mall?
Fair
Yeah.
enough. And, you know, we have I wanted to call him Goku. We have Luther Strode's like anime Goku moment. Yeah, where he like well, I mean, he gets there by like recounting, you know, the dead homie, Pete, his dead mom, the mask, you know, Petra is screaming and crying. We see tears well up in his eyes in this bottom panel, which is crazy. He goes from like the red eyes to just his human eyes. And then boom, unleash. No, and it's also human eyes, not the red
Yeah.
evil eyes anymore, which I think is like an important distinction. And then
Also, his mask burnt away.
yeah,
So
mask is gone. This is full Luther. No more vigilante crazy guy. And you know, Petra's crying. Well, fucking finally, he grabs her. Yeah, boom, goes through the fucking wall, and then they're standing in the flames. Petra, I are a big dumb idiot. Seriously. And then this beautiful payoff. Oh, the kiss.
Mooch.
So earned. It's so cathartic. It feels so good. I was so happy he dedicated the 2-pager to it.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's a perfect moment. No notes. And that's just
No
basically how
notes.
it ends.
Well, I mean, aside from just that little bit of confidence from, you know, Petra at the end. Glad you finally got your head out of your ass, Strode.
Yeah. Where the fuck is Jack? And then he's at the mall.
oh,
They're having a sale on suits at the J. Crew.
You're gonna love the way you look. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
So if we remember where we left off with our little fun animated Luther Strode, Jack the stripper was killing henchmen, and we see him after he's murdered people with a big ol' enough, and then Luther Strode's gonna power up. So using the bodies of the other guys.
With our combined powers, we become he becomes a Zord.
So
He's got like his arms through their assholes and is wearing them.
and it's his feet too. His feet are through the guy's asshole.
I love the detail of his feet going through their mouths too.
Oh,
That's so
dude.
fucking funny. Holy shit.
That's so awesome. And then Kate or Die. And
Cave dwelling, cannibalistic, incestuous, evil murder family.
that's right.
And no, not the Lannisters.
Oh, dude. So good.
Fun for the
I
whole
love
family.
This Scottish family from the 1500s began as most families do in a derelict cave by the ocean. Sonny and his wife raise their freakish mutant children to rob local villagers by night. Then, eat them. Cool, fun for the whole
Classic.
family.
Classic. And then as we move into chapter 12, we get, ooh, those are nice.
We get some very
Wow. Okay.
high detail.
That's some, oh.
That one looks cool. That
That's like
reminds me
some,
of.
that's James Heron.
Oh,
That looks like James Heron.
Once again, no name. Damn it! Put like a signature or something on here that I can freaking figure out. What's going on? And then this one does have a signature. That is Brown. I don't know who Brown is, but
The elephant. I would love if Luther Strode fought an elephant. That'd be sick. Yeah.
then there's my girl.
Beautiful. But then the cover for chapter 12 is like the most traddy of trad covers. Like, look at all that noodling on there, dude.
But zoom in.
Yeah, the fact that it's all people.
All bodies.
Yeah, all bodies in that blood texture.
Oh,
2013 trad.
I was so dumb when I bought this because for the longest time I thought these were like rose petals or some
Right.
kind of coagulated blood. I was so dumb until one day I was just like, that
Wait.
doesn't look like flower petal. Oh, those are bodies. Oh,
Yeah, it's more obvious when you like look around his hair and see like bodies like fully stretched out.
ties into
Yeah.
Murder Mall.
Yeah, and then we're at the mall, and this is our last stand, our final shutout. It's funny. They get to the mall, the doors are locked. Oh no. But of course, for Luther, there's no such thing as a locked door. Boom. Just absolutely rips those things apart. Hilarious.
Oh God, this 2-page spread.
Yeah. You're gonna have to zoom this one on, Cam, because like this is bananas.
And
Just
again,
Trees
this
looking like
is-
ice cream,
Yeah,
all these
this
bodies.
is all.
We also get
that-
some dongs on here. Important detail.
Dude,
All
you-
these
you
nude
get
bodies.
Not just dong, you get female anatomy as well. You get
Yeah, but
all
that's
of it.
boring. We need more dongs in comics.
We
We
need more
discussed this. I want the full
There's a
dong.
lot of tiny wieners.
Yeah. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Look at all those dead bodies.
They're not dead.
They're not dead. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's coming soon.
Because that's something that Luther calls out in this.
And she throws up. I love that's how this.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a callback because when he murdered all those people that were beating her up
Oh yeah.
in the first.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's why she's like, oh, fuck, not a.
Are you okay? Not even a little.
And, she asks, like, how many people has he killed? And he goes, none. They're all still alive. Barely.
As he examines this like security guard's chest-o-see.
Ugh.
Oh my god. And he's like, all right, you're dead.
Yeah.
Well,
mercy
she's
kill.
Like, oh God, we have to save him. Yeah, it's a mercy kill. That's
The fact that he like
it's-
shoots him in the head with his fingers is just like
That's insane.
that's so weird and fucking cool. There is no Jack and
But
you.
this is. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yep. Call that out. This is Petra once again reminding Luther.
They're not the same. They are not
Yeah.
both monsters. Not anymore. We don't see Red-Eyed Luther once for the rest of this book, I don't think. And deservedly so. I also love the wash of blues and greens here. Just makes
Yeah.
it all feel icky, sickly, gross, dark.
Feel like a hospital.
Yeah. Why doesn't Zazzle come out and fucking play? Yeah, and I love like the shooting and that he's just like stop shooting. Like the bullets are gonna kill all these people.
Mhm.
Isn't it? Shows up on the other side and then calls her a whore. Very unnecessary. Look,
He
I
calls
can
her a lot of things in this one.
I can tolerate genocide, but I draw the line at misogyny. Okay, we respect women here.
I love all the setup. The upshot from like him from Jack standing on the balcony to the tight zoom in from the feet up. You get that maniacal laugh,
Yeah.
and then tied in on Luther and Petra, and then just that extra angle. Like, let's really set this up and show this divide of murder between like what Luther Strode is going to stop doing and what Jack has done and will continue to do if they don't stop him.
And of course, like, importantly in that is, like, you know, consistently the Petra on his side. Like, the one thing that kind of keeps them different is, you know, her.
The fat-mouthed angel on his shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then, look at how jacked and crazy he looks on this. Yeah. That top third. And then the Superman punches.
Where are those sound effects at, Kev?
You know what? This page doesn't need them, but it's also because there's simply too many things going on from too many directions.
Yeah.
I love the sonic boom, like ripple of smoke through the punch here. That's some real anime shit.
So good. And just thinking about the way the bodies move, Jack kicking Luther, backwards, and so Jack continues that backward flip while Luther hits the ceiling and like slides backwards on the ceiling, only to launch himself from that corner and hitting Jack directly in his back, taking him through the floor. I mean, holy crap.
And like the continued like animation of the fight going on with the two shadows clashing throughout that panel is really, really well done.
Oh, amazing.
There's also people flying around.
All the bodies.
I mean, they're basically dead. And then we get this page. This is like really stood out to me, where there is no like panel breaks, and it's all just done with like the whooshing of the smoke and the animation of the fight on that next page. I think that is fucking
That's what I was talking about earlier. Was this chaos going on? And no gutters, it's just smoke. Just dividing those panels. I love that shit.
No onomatopoeia.
Nope.
Just
and yeah, the guns firing. I got a strong feeling of my own, asshole. And Luther looking very cute and boyish in a panel. I love you. Who wouldn't?
But I love how it ends, dude. And you get the little blush on Petra as she goes from like blushing to I'm about to die for like the one time in this 6-issue mini. The legs from one of Jack's victims being hurled like femur first.
Look at that meat.
God,
and the fact that he just catches them.
Yeah.
And then he uses them as like weapons. I'm gonna catch these legs, and well, I got them. Might as well use them.
And I love Petra running around just trying to get everybody out of there. Once again, is anyone out here? I swear I'm not a mutilated, mummified psychopath. Usually.
Well, and then trying to convince people, because she finds like these people that are hiding out. You people need to move your asses, and they don't budge. And it's like, for fuck's sake. So then she just starts firing her gun in the air. Like, let's go.
Come on, quick like bunnies. The tides are turning. Everyone's running away. Jack's plan is failing, and the fight is really turning. He loses it. Him slipping through his arms like this is great. And then calling her a whore and a harlot, just unnecessary. I mean, come on. Really? Like, we can kill all these people, but let's respect the women, please.
Exactly.
Let's be respectful about it.
Don't, get her name out of your mouth. You know what I mean? That's Ben's girl right there.
That's my girl. Don't speak ill of Petra.
Don't disrespect her like that. That's just fucking out of pocket.
And I was very upset because here Petra has the perfect chance to just double tap this jackhole right in his forehead, and he's able once again to kind of slip out before Luther just puts a fist right through his back.
I love that this is I love that this is how we have to kill people, like kill these like, you know, murder homunculus is like by like ripping their spines and heads off like they're fucking vampires
it's like the
or
Mortal
something.
Kombat way, man.
Fatality.
Yeah, it's the fatality.
Well, and
Great.
once again, we thought that Jack was done. Dude, the way it goes back to those bendy bodies that you're talking about, Manny. The fact that
dude, I love it.
Yeah, the lean back and bite Luther in the neck is so crazy.
It's like, what? What is going on?
Well, fuck indeed. He's like, I'm good. Don't kill them all at once. Getting ready to torture him. Again, we go back to Phantom Jack mode down here, which is just fucking sweet. I will kill you. And of course, this is classic villain shit.
Him breaking Luther's legs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, absolutely torturous. I love that this is this is basically the cycle of this book, is that Luther gets just absolutely like blown to smithereens and then like just kind of comes back. It's like the end of every Trailer Park Boys season, how they always go to prison and come back out at the beginning of the next one. Like, he basically dies and comes back, and it's the next thing. And then, you know, her going to basically Bass Pro Shop, looking at bows and arrows and shotguns, and she's like, wait a minute. There's a better option. And of course, we're in a mall, so you need a chainsaw like Dawn of the Dead. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's what you do in malls. You get chainsaws.
That's
right. Lawn care.
Yeah, fucking yeah. And then, yeah, just, I told you this was over. You think you can stop this? You know, I'm not going to kill you. And then we get that fear in his eyes. I love that one shot of humanity with the fear in that corner panel. It's like, she is. And then, whoa.
We get the muscle control too, right? He's trapped Jack this with his muscles.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Yep.
Tucked into his titty meat. God, that chainsaw reveal. I literally like said out loud when I was reading this, like, fuck yeah. Yeah. You better fucking believe it. And then, you know, the warning to come, there will be others, but they won't be you. And then just chewing his face up, blowing it to smithereens. That's my boy. Now you want to go find the rest of these assholes and kill them? Or, you know, not. And there's just like waves of cops outside.
Yeah.
That's such a fun way to end this. I love the ending of this. I think it's like the perfect little touch of leaving you wanting more. And like that just, things are good, but they're not good, perfect. You know what I mean? We're not there yet.
Yeah.
The story ain't over. And then we get that little sprinkle of a tease with Kane.
Yeah. After the credits roll.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's coming. The boy. He's coming for you. Don't you know that? Yes.
Gross.
And that is the legend of Luther Strode. Final thoughts, fellas. What do we think?
Dude, just love seeing Trad just like level up like crazy. Like watching the growth from first issue to the last. It's such a different like rendering style and shit. It's just like getting comfortable making comics for sure and getting wacky with it.
Yeah, like really just like loving the experimentation and just doing whatever he wants is like, you know.
Yeah.
Like creatively covering scenes in different ways. Making the action feel fresh despite it's just action for 6 straight issues basically. Really, really impressive, really fun. They managed to keep that tone of like sickly dark, but also just delightfully fun. And there's like a good kernel of sweetness to the relationship. I think that kind of is that's the glue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get more of that in Legacy.
And Manny is done. He is pulling out the page and he is inking as we speak. He's like, now I must
Get it
put
out of my
childish
face.
things away.
It's time to be a man.
And so for those that have been following along with what was going on with the cartoony Luther Strode, the Megazord Luther with the arms and legs of other people that he's using on top of his arms and legs, pull Jack the Stripper apart.
Hilarious.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then the last Cater die is about the story of Cain from Cain and Abel.
How about that?
Quite fitting.
The perfect tie-in.
Yeah.
Yes. For those who weren't keeping up with our first episode, I feel like that's important context, is the murder cult that gave Luther Strode his powers are essentially tied all the way back to the mythology of Cain and Abel and the first murder, basically. This is kind of where all this is rooted. I'm excited to tie back into it, which is what comes in the legacy of Luther Strode. We get our showdown with Cain. It is going to be a blast. We're gonna cover that in 2 weeks. We're taking a break just because we didn't want to OD on Luther Strode. It's so much fun. We wanted to savor the flavor just a little bit. Next week, I believe we're talking about Parasocial. Yeah, Parasocial.
Yeah.
By Alex DeCampi and Erica Henderson. Very fun. So if you want to get it, follow along with us next week. By all means, do so. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. If you haven't read Luther Strode, God, I recommend it. You can get I don't know if they sell the individual trades anymore. I mean, I'm sure you can find it somewhere, but you can definitely find the entire collection put out by Image. I've seen this at a lot of different comic book stores. It's what, $40 for,
Yeah.
18 comics and then tons of back matter, which we'll kind of dive into more back mattery things at the end of our next time covering. You guys remember, if you want to read comic books, you should go to your local comic book store and find them. Support your locals. We're in North Carolina. We go to, Acme Comics is our number one, both the downtown and the Battleground location. There's Capital Comics in Raleigh. There's, Ultimate Comics. There's a lot of good comic book stores. Go find comics wherever you are and support that store. Talk to the people. They'll give you cool recommendations. Tell them you like Luther Strode. They'll give you more cool books to read. Trad Moore. He's the man. So support him if you ever are at a con. Talk to him. He's a really nice guy.
It's so nice.
He's the
Oh my
best.
God.
And if you're at Heroes Con, once again, plugged it in the beginning, we'll plug it again here. We're going to be at Heroes Con. Me, Ben, Manny, all tabling. We'll have Renown books. Ben will have Time Police books. We'll have a secret book that is only available at Heroes Con. And it's going to be awesome that we can't spill too many beans about yet. But we're just touching it up, putting the last touches on it, getting out to the printers hopefully soon. So
Yeah.
we're excited. Manny's going to have his own book that he's currently inking. You're getting the little sneak peek up here above me in that stream. But if you want, I'm going to close this stream in just a moment. So if you want to continue this hangout, go onto the Manny Draws Twitch. He's the man. Look it up in the search bar right now. Go find Manny. And then for those of you who didn't catch this whole thing, it'll be uploaded on YouTube. You'll be able to watch it this weekend. So, thank you. We're the Mouthbreathers Guild. We love you. Good night.
Good night.
Night.